Hey y'all, my name is Babbles, and welcome back to Building Tales, the series where I've been teaching myself how to build better in Minecraft using stories. Now, a while back, I built a few things from the Odyssey, so I decided for this week I'll take a look back at those builds. So enjoy the unedited compilation of those videos, and if you like what you see, maybe consider subscribing. It really does help a lot. Enjoy! Hey y'all, my name is Babbles, and welcome back to Building Tales, the series where I teach myself how to build better in Minecraft using stories. And today, we're going to embark on a certain Odyssey. That's right, for the next few videos, I'm going to be looking at the Odyssey, specifically two sea monsters, Skyla and Charybdis, with a little ship in between. Now, in the Odyssey, Odysseus had to sail an ancient Greek trireme through a strait that was guarded by two sea monster sisters, Scylla in a little cliff face and Charybdis, who was a whirlpool monster. The story is kind of the origin of the idea of having to make a good decision out of two bad ones. Odysseus ended up sailing nearer to Scylla and away from Charybdis, knowing that either one could mean certain death for his entire crew or just a few. So I'm actually going to start with the trireme. And this will be interesting, because I've never built a ship before. But I'm excited, so let's go. Okay, so I have the basic shape of the trireme right now. In my research, I noticed that one thing about triremes is they are very thin and narrow, and they seem to just kind of barely go beneath the surface of the water on the bottom. And they also have these two, I don't quite know what to call them, arms almost that come off of the front and the back. And so, as you could see, I was really fiddling with the shape of these, and I'm not totally convinced I like the shape yet, but it's something that I'll probably continue to fiddle with. Right now, I just have the outline that I think will be relatively easy to build off of. And yeah, so I really wanted it to kind of replicate that thin shape that I saw, and I was really messing with the edges over here to kind of round it out a little bit. And I'm gonna do some details on the main body now. So I've got some more details done on the trireme here. I have this little covering and I've got the seats inside where the oarsmen would sit. And I tried to make some little oars just using some oak fences, and I think I'm pretty satisfied with how they came out. I've never made oars before, so I just kind of went for it, and I think I'm very happy with it. Also, off camera, I edited the front and the back again just to see if I could get more of the shape I want. I will have some decorations here, so I wanted to make sure I had room for that. But also, in my research, I saw that this part that I initially thought was curved that way actually just goes straight up. So I changed it to fit that. And then with the back, I just kind of flattened it out a little more and made it a little more curvy. So yeah, I think I'm going to add in some sails now. So here is the final trireme inspired by the Odyssey. So I put the sails in. I just did that out of wool and some spruce fences. And I have this eye up here. That's one thing that kept popping up in my research of the triremes is they would usually have an eye or some sort of decoration on the front of the ship. And so yeah, and something I forgot to mention earlier is I put dark oak under the water to kind of make it seem like it was wetter because wood typically gets darker when it gets wet. So, yeah, I'm really proud of it. And in future videos, I'm going to tackle organics for the very first time and try to get Skyla and Charybdis laid out. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you like, subscribe if you so choose. Comment down below what stories you would like to see me tackle in the future. And don't forget to check out a book from your local library. See y'all. Hey y'all. My name is Babbles, and welcome back to Building Tales, where lately I've been taking a look at the Odyssey to get some inspiration for teaching myself how to build better. In the last video, I built this boat inspired by an ancient Greek trireme. And in this video, I'm going to tackle something a little different. I'm going to be building an organic for the very first time. Specifically, Charybdis, who in the Odyssey threatened Odysseus and his crew, along with her sister Scylla, and it got pretty messy. So let's get started. So right now I've got a glass hemisphere in the water. I just outlined it with the regular blue glass. I am planning on going back in a little while later and adding some detail, maybe with some white glass, some light blue glass, and maybe some cyan, just to make it look a little more like a whirlpool. But first, I'm going to do the main body of Charybdis down there in the middle. And I want her to look really monstrous with lots of teeth. So let's get started on that. So I've got the main body of Charybdis laid out right now, and I went with mostly dark prismarine because I thought it looked a little bit like scales. And then as I got closer to the mouth, I switched to just the regular prismarine. But on the inside of the mouth, I've got a gradient from netherrack all the way down to the dark nether bricks and then some black concrete in the middle to kind of create an illusion of depth. You can't really see it very well right now because I put some water in, because if she's a whirlpool monster, obviously she's going to have some water coming through as well. But I've got glass panes around this part of the mouth as kind of a reference to like whale teeth, that kind of filter the food. And then for larger teeth, I've got the dripstone stalagmites. And then also for some texture, I have some warped planks and some warped logs because I thought it looked kind of like veins. And I've got the glow lichen on top of that to kind of make it look a little more scaly and blend it in a little more. And I've also got some dripstone blocks because they kind of remind me of scar tissue. And I was thinking, if your main source of food is on ships, those ships probably aren't going to feel too good. So you're probably going to get a little bit hurt. So yeah, now I'm going to do some detail work on the actual whirlpool. So here is Charybdis all finished. I just used some panes of glass in white, light blue, and cyan to make kind of the whirlpool shape to make it feel like it was spinning around. And then I made these kind of rapids looking bits of water out of white glass and white glass panes. So yeah, this is it. I'm very proud of it. This is the my very first time making an organic, and I know it's not perfect, but it is a great starting point and it turned out so much better than I thought it would. So here's Charybdis next to the ship. And next time I will be building Skyla. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you like, subscribe if you so choose. Let me know down in the comments what story you'd like to see me take on next. See y'all. Hey y'all. My name is Babbles, and welcome back to Building Tales, where lately I've been taking a look at the Odyssey to get some inspiration to help myself learn how to build better. In the last couple of episodes, I've built an ancient Greek trireme and Charybdis, a whirlpool monster that threatened Odysseus and his crew. And in this episode, I'm going to be building Skyla. Now, the depictions of Skyla tend to vary, but one thing that everything I've seen seemed to agree on was that she had long tentacles that had rows of sharp teeth. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some of those tentacles coming out of this cave and reaching down towards the ship. And then, hopefully, that'll get the idea across. So, with building Skyla, I have a feeling that shape is going to be much more important than texture. With Charybdis, I already knew the shape was going to be really round, kind of domed, so I could kind of work on the texture as I was building it. But with Skyla, she's got the wild tentacles, so I'm gonna mark this out with dirt first and then thicken it out and add some texture after. Okay, so since this is my first time ever building anything like this, I'm not actually sure if the method I used is the best method for it, but it worked for me. So what I did was I basically took a single line of dirt all the way down to there and just kind of made it kind of windy, kind of twisty, and then I went through and I thickened it up one block to the side just so I could have a firmer idea of what it would look like when it was thicker. And then I went around behind the back and just added a few blocks here and there. And then I removed some, trying to make it look more organic, more alive. So yeah, I'm going to repeat that a few more times and then I'll get started on texturing. So now that I've got the shape of the tentacles, it's time to look at colors. So since Skyla is a sister of Charybdis, I knew I wanted them to be somewhat similar in coloring, which is why I've got the prismarine there. I've also got it because it looks kind of scaly, and even though Skyla is in the cliff, she is still a sea monster. And to kind of go with that greeny blue, I've got the warped wart block, and then I've also got some iron here because it also looks like scales, and I wanted to have that as the underside of the tentacle. And then I just put some glow lichen on top of it to help it blend from the prismarine to the iron. So I've already completed one of the tentacles over here with that coloring, and I really like how you can kind of see some movement now that the colors are in, because the warped wart block on top makes it seem like the arm is kind of going up this way and then twisting around, while the iron acts as kind of the underside. So, yeah, I'm going to finish out the other tentacles with this palette. So I now have the tentacles all fully colored and textured. And as I went through, I just kind of wanted the warped warp block on top with the prismarine on the sides and then the iron on the underside, so it would kind of seem like the tentacles were twisting around. And as I did that, I kind of adjusted the shape a little bit as well, just to make sure it was really what I wanted. And then I decided to do something on the ends, and I'll show you what it was. Is I wanted to do the end rods like this, but I also wanted to put some tripwire hooks on it because I would imagine Skyla is kind of reaching down and kind of hooking onto her prey. So I wanted her to have a way to do that. So I thought that was a really neat use of that. So yeah, I really want most of her to be kind of a suggestion of a monster there, but I do want her to have a little more of a body than just the tentacles. So what I'm going to do now is widen out this cave and put a little bit of a body in there. So here is Skyla all done and dusted, and I'm really proud of it. I feel like I've learned so much about how organics work. So I've got the tentacles here with the little hooks representing the rows of teeth. I've got a little bit of her body poking out with the glowing eyes and the skulk making it all dark. And yeah, there's the boat, there's Charybdis, and there's the Odyssey finished. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you so choose. Comment down below what stories you'd like to see me tackle in the future. And don't forget to check out a book from your local library. See y'all!